What's good, everyone? I want to welcome y'all to another episode of Triggered News Topics. And I'm your host, Lord Amin Ra. And today's commentary is titled Public Buck Breaking. Let's get into it. Now, everyone knows by now, or heard by now, about the Jonathan Majors case of sexual assault and other misconducts towards this white woman, Miss Jabari. Well, he's been convicted on two counts, misdemeanor counts. I think second degree, I think assault and second degree harassment. Now, the first thing that really came to my mind, if you've been a person that's been involved with the court system, or if you've spoken with anybody that's dealing with the court system as far as lawyers and stuff like that, the first thing that came up all the time was this was a weird trial because it was a misdemeanor charges, and quite usually, misdemeanor charges don't go to trial, and especially doesn't get all this high profile press like this case did. And the crazy thing is, like, the convictions is weird because, first of all, there was a large amount of evidence, proving that Jonathan Majors, was innocent. But a lot of that evidence was either suppressed, withheld, or undermined, not only in the courtroom by the judges and prosecutors, but also by the media. And if are a regular on my channel, you already know I already did a episode about the racism, anti-black racism of the American news media. Well, a lot of other things came about where, the lady, Miss Jabari, which is a white woman, was arrested by the police. Now, the police arrested her because they found out there was enough amount of evidence that showed her guilt in the whole altercation. But New York's local government head DA, Alvin Bragg, which has basically had a long list of showing anti-black racism himself, even though he is supposedly a black man himself. And if you wonder what I'm talking about, this is the same DA that took command over the Neely case. I forgot the gentleman's name, but this was the case where a white Marine choked out to death a homeless black person by his last name Neely. And Alvin Bragg decided to let the white Marine go with no charges or anything like that. I think he might have called them back and placed some light charges on them, but that's only because due to the fact of the public pressing the issue about the optics of the whole thing. And this is not the first time that this Alvin Bragg, that when it came to cases dealing with, race of white and black, where he would opt to have the white individuals involved in the cases to be let off scot-free. So, mentioning that, like I said, the police did arrest Mrs. Jabari offer evidence of guilt, but Alvin Bragg, the DA, outright refused to prosecute Mrs. Jabari, and also uh, pressed the issue to have whatever evidence towards her suppressed. Now, we, if you are a person that pays attention, especially in the Black empowerment community, we already know how this government is and their feelings towards uh, us foundational Black Americans. But the thing is now, um, they have, switched tactics to the point where I wouldn't say switch tactics, but they've pushed this tactic more up front now where they're getting a whole lot of so-called Black uh, uh, Americans, coons, as what we call them in the pro-Black community, to get out here and do the job for white supremacy and basically take out their own brothers and sisters. Um, we also know, as far as the media, specifically news media, and also Hollywood, has no love for the Black American, especially the Black American male. And as we've seen with Marvel, Marvel was just looking for any reason to uh, cut this man, Jonathan Majors, out of the Marvel universe, along with Hollywood, just off of accusations, not even no proof. They were uh, hop, skip, and a jump in urgency of basically cutting this man off and out of Hollywood, destroying his whole career. A career which I might add, if you know about with Hollywood, it takes a long time for individuals to make it to the position in the career that Jonathan Major made it to, which was, becoming stars at major uh, Hollywood motion pictures. Um, they, in the instance of just hearing about the situation, commercials were taking from him, future roles were taken from him. And like I said before, Marvel was just looking for any reason to cut him out. But if you are a person that is, like I said before, in the full Black community and pay attention to things, you would know that the comic book community has always been anti-Black racist, period. I mean, especially when it comes to Marvel, and especially when it comes to Disney, I should say. Marvel, um, Lucasfilms with the Star Wars, they are all under Disney. And if you've been paying attention from the past 5 years, 6 years, every time it seems like there is a Black character that is being pushed in their so-called beloved comic book or fantasy genres, uh, the so-called or suspected white supremacists just go ape shit. I mean, and if you're a person that's prevalent in the internet scenes, the social media scenes, you would know these things because they would take to the Twitters or take to YouTubes and just outright spew all types of anti-Black rhetoric towards each individual that has tried to find success in these realms, or in these genres, I should say. Especially when it comes to Hollywood and the comic book genre, because as quickly as you see, they were ready to uh, just, I would say, execute John Majors out of the community. When you look to the white counterparts that are, especially in the Hollywood and comic book communities, that have committed atrocities, and atrocities even worse than this so-called situation. They're either coddled, they're either protected, or if something does happen to them, they're able to, come back with ease and get right back in the positions that they were. You know, one of my biggest examples is Ezra Miller. Now, we've all seen this dude, Ezra Miller, choke out females, beat up females, uh, 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 breaking and entering into homes. Like, this man has had a whole slew of crimes, not even just in America, but across the globe, being arrested, getting out, video evidence, and all this. And DC, which is another brand in the comic book community and comic book film community, uh, didn't even bat an eye about him still starring in the movie The Flash. We also got other examples like Robert Downey Jr. If you know the history about Robert Downey Jr., this man was a big time drug addict. He was constantly going in and out of jail, constantly in the tabloids. And like I said before, he was allowed to, come back into the fold of Hollywood and get back in position like nothing ever happened, and which we all know now he is the one that plays Iron Man, which is so called now. He is one of the highest paid actors in the game. We also have individuals like Roman Polanski that was, charged with SA and sexual assault and pedophilia, dealing with young women and all that. And he packed his bags and went to Europe. But the simple fact that the Hollywood community still embraces him, still embraces his films, still endorses him, and pushes them to the highest levels of respect in that genre and in that field. We got other examples like Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin actually killed somebody on set, and his career wasn't demonized. His career wasn't taken away from him, like how they doing Jonathan Majors, Mel Gibson, and with his situation, and now he's back into the fold. Doing big movies. Like, I just seen him on a mini series called The Continental, which is a film and a story that's a part of the whole John Wick universe. Now, the whole point of this is just to let it be known that what we're seeing here is just another example of buck breaking, a public buck breaking. Because we know that this country has always had problems and hatred, not just for the black community as a whole, but especially for the black male. And the media, which is just now another form, a modern form of the noose, or the phallus that is used to break the buck, that will refuse to, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Con, excuse me for a sec. Refuse to conform to, what white supremacy wants, or the image of a black male that they want. Spineless, buffoonish. Just basically all out ass kissing, like we see a lot of our black politicians and other, as we consider coons in the major media. So I just wanted to let this be known with this segment to all those black males that do aspire to get into Hollywood or anything of the entertainment field. Please be careful and be aware of these things, because No matter what they try to tell us, no matter what time we're in the 2000s, these people have a hard on and a hatred for black people, especially black males. And like Charles S. Dutton said in Menace to Society, the hunt is on. So I just want to thank everyone for tuning in with another episode of Triggered News Topics. I'm your host, Thy Lord Amin Ra, and I wish y'all not only a great evening, but a happy holidays. Peace.